Hi, I'm Brittany Watkins. I'm the founder and creator of the 6-Week Skinny Jeans program. So, what the heck does skinny jeans mean anyway? Skinny Jeans program contains a combination of elements not found in any other weight loss program available today. It helps you uncover the underlying emotional root causes of the extra weight, and then it takes away the sadnesses and anxiety that keeps those pounds in place no matter how many diets you try. It's based on leading edge science, and it actually shifts your DNA, or what scientists call your gene expression, to produce hormone levels that support a healthy weight. Best of all, it rewires your brain to love the foods that make you fit and healthy permanently. In my previous life, I was one of the highest paid sales executives at a Fortune 500 bank. Now I'm a master EFT coach and expert in emotional eating. I'm also a master in Neurolinguistic Programming, and I'm a certified energy coach. But my life wasn't always this way. I struggled with my weight and emotional eating for half my life. From the age of 15 years old, I actually lived away from my family. For about a year, I bounced around from friend's house to friend's house, just trying to be a grown-up and make my own way in the world. But being on my own at such a young age forced me to grow up really quickly. And I realized if I was going to survive, I needed to make some big decisions. So I rolled up my sleeves, I got a job, I enrolled myself in homeschool, and I found an apartment. But despite my warrior facade, at night the pain would hit me. I felt totally lonely and unloved. And so in order to cope with that emptiness I felt inside, I began to eat as a way to fill myself with love. So of course I didn't want to be overweight, but I couldn't control my eating. So I started working out obsessively. I would binge on food at night, trying to fill the void in my heart, and then I would wake up in the morning disgusted with myself and hit the gym. I was tortured by this pattern. Every day I would wake up in the morning and vow that today would be different. Today would be the start of my new diet, my new weight loss plan, whatever book or program promised to make all my problems disappear. And of course nothing worked. Diet after diet, binge after binge, nothing offered permanent results. Of course there were fleeting moments of success. I mean, you can't eat nothing but cabbage soup for 3 weeks and not lose weight. But the emotional urges that tortured me at night would always return, along with the weight. At one point, I found a book written by Janine Roth that introduced me to the idea of emotional eating. And it helped me understand why I couldn't control myself around food, but it didn't offer a solution. No matter how many questionnaires I filled out or lists I made of other things I could do when I was having a craving, nothing ever worked. When it came time to, when that craving hit and I had to decide whether to hit the treadmill or the refrigerator, I just could not walk away from the only thing that made me feel safe. A couple years after that, I was introduced to a method called emotional freedom techniques, or tapping. At first, it seemed really odd. I mean, I couldn't understand how tapping on my body was going to make my cravings disappear. But I couldn't deny the results. It worked really well. So soon, my cravings just kind of magically disappeared. My clothes started falling off of me. The nightly emotional binges became rare occurrences. And when they did come, I just did the tapping and it would go away. And so the Skinny Jeans journey began. Now I've dedicated my career to helping other women overcome the same struggles that I dealt with for so long. I teach them how to find their own root causes so that they can finally break free from the diet binge cycle and look and feel amazing about their bodies and their lives. In this 3-part Kick Your Cravings to the Curb video mini-series, I'm going to focus on 3 painful ways you sabotage your health, happiness, and well-being. And then I'm going to show you an absolutely free exercise that will help you clear these blocks once and for all. So this first video, we're going to talk about cravings and how positive memories from your past are driving your compulsive behavior in the present. When clients come to me with out-of-control cravings for things like pizza, chips, nachos, French fries, the first thing that I always ask them is, what is your first memory of eating this food? 9 times out of 10, they will immediately tell me a story about eating that food with someone they loved or during a time that was really positive for them. So, for example, your mother may have rewarded you with a big plate of chocolate chip cookies for coming home with a good school report card. Well, your brain hardwired that association between cookies and good feelings of love and affirmation. So now, anytime you have an experience that's unpleasant, the boss is breathing down your neck, the kids are freaking out, or you're bored or lonely at night, you are subconsciously craving that comfort of cookies because of that hardwired association. So now I'm going to introduce you to Taryn. Taryn spent most of her adult life struggling with chocolate cravings. Taryn has a really, really cool story, so let's take a listen to what she has to say. So thank you, Taryn, for joining us today. I just want you to introduce yourself to everyone. So tell us what your name is and where you're from.
My name is Taryn Voget, and I live in Sausalito, California.
And tell us what your business is.
My business is called the Everyday Genius Institute, and the idea is that we take people that are truly exceptional at what they do and figure out exactly how they do it, and then teach those strategies in the form of a book and DVD line. So the closest thing I can think of is like the Dummy series, except that it's genius.
I wanted to ask you to share a little bit about your chocolate cravings. You and I worked on chocolate cravings a little while back. Tell us what it used to be like around chocolate.
I've always loved chocolate, but somehow in the last 3 years, it went from a love to an addiction. I mean, really, truly a chocolate addiction. And I would go to Trader Joe's and buy, I don't know how many bars of dark chocolate. And it was, over the last 3 years, I've been working on a lot of projects that take a lot of focus, especially in my house and writing projects. And I would every maybe 20 or 30 minutes go up and grab chocolate and eat it. And by the end of the day, I'd probably had 2 bars of chocolate, 3 bars. It was bad. And then you suggested that we work on that as a craving. And of course, I was all ears.
Yeah. So we did the craving technique and did it once. Tell us what it's like with chocolate now.
So after we did the technique, which was really interesting by itself, and I would recommend it to anybody because it was eye-opening as to why I was having the cravings. And after working with you, and I forget how long we worked together, maybe it was a half an hour on it. It wasn't very long, maybe less. It was one of those weird things where I noticed it right away, but in a really subtle way. And what I mean by that is maybe a week later, I had this epiphany like, gosh, I'm just not really eating that much chocolate anymore. And so it just felt like all of a sudden one day it was gone, but in a subtle way. It wasn't like this big epiphany. It was like, wow, that's cool. And then even today, I still really like chocolate. I love the taste. I love the texture. I love the ritual of it. But now I still keep it in my house, but I maybe have like a little corner off of a square, maybe half a square, and I might just have a little bite every day or every other day. So it's not that I don't eat it, but it's not like I'm gobbling down every 20 minutes, bars at a time. So it's been a real shift. My relationship with it is really different.
And that's exactly what we want. We don't want to take the food away from you. We want you to be able to enjoy chocolate, but without the chocolate controlling you. And it sounds like...
That's how I feel about it. Exactly. It's exactly the right words, too, which is I can choose to have it. I have it a little bit. I like it, but it doesn't control me. It's like a nice tiny little treat when I feel like it on occasion, but I could go without it just as easily. Thank you for the technique. I would recommend it to anybody. I really, truly would. It's a very powerful technique and surprisingly easy. That's the cool thing about it.
So just like Taryn, you can reprogram that positive association that you have with the foods that you love with a technique called emotional freedom techniques. It's a clinically proven method based on positive psychology and the ancient Chinese medical practice of acupressure. It quickly and effectively conquers fears, phobias, anxiety, stress, all by tapping on a few specific acupressure points while saying simple affirmations. So now I'm going to teach you how to stimulate the acupressure points. What's going to happen is you're actually sending a flood of serotonin to your brain, which will deactivate the body's distress signal and effectively break that hardwired association between the food you love and all those good feelings. So we start by tapping on the karate chop point. We call this the karate chop point. And we say the affirmation, which is, we state what our problem is, which in this case would be cravings. And for this video, I'm going to use the example of chocolate cravings. So What we say is, even though I have this craving for chocolate, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And the reason that we say we accept ourselves is to neutralize any subconscious judgment about the fact that we are not perfect. We don't like the fact that we're not perfect. So what this does is it neutralizes those feelings. So then after you say that 3 times, you just start to tap through the points. The first point is the beginning of the eyebrow. Just tap about 10 or 15 times in each spot. Then outside of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, under the chin, and then finally the collarbone point. And after each round of tapping, I'm going to have you take a nice deep cleansing breath. And this just lets everything integrate. So I know that might look a little crazy for those of you who aren't into tapping or emotional freedom techniques, but just stay tuned because it works really well. And you don't have to remember that whole sequence. I'm going to teach you everything, so just follow along, and I'm going to show you how to do everything step by step. So when we start this technique, it's best if you have a food that you crave in front of you. So if you don't have anything in front of you right now, pause the video and go grab something. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to be measuring your success. So I'm going to ask you to taste or smell the food, and you're going to rate your desire for it on a scale from 0 to 10. And so if you have actual food in front of you, you'll actually be able to see the results of your craving disappearing. So it's always good to have the real thing. But if you don't, just imagine that you have a food in front of you. Okay, so we're going to start, and I'm going to have you taste or smell the food. Notice what your desire for it is on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 would be, I don't want anything to do with this thing, and 10 would be, oh my gosh, I have to have it right now. So decide what your number is. Most of the time, the number will just pop into your head intuitively. Now, I want you to think back to your earliest memories of eating this food. Usually something will pop into your head right away, and that's the right answer. So if you don't have anything that pops into your head right away, that's totally okay. I just want you to focus on your desire for the food. So if you have a memory that pops up, take a look around and notice who's in this memory with you. What was it like back then? Who were you with? How does it feel to be back there again, remembering this memory? Most people will have a lot of really good feelings that will flood back in. They'll be eating the food with their family or in a situation that they really, really felt good in. So just allow yourself to feel all those good feelings again. And while you do that, we're going to start to tap on the karate chop point. And just tune into the craving, tune into all those good feelings of remembering what it was like to be with those people or that person back then. And just notice, remember what it tastes, remember what this food tastes like in your mind. And we're just tapping on the karate chop point. We're going to say, even though I have this craving for chocolate, I'm using chocolate as the example, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Oh, I want to say here that you don't have to use chocolate. If you have a craving for anything, you can follow along and just do this for any food that you crave. It doesn't have to be chocolate. So, even though I have this craving for chocolate, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this craving for chocolate, I accept myself and all my imperfections. Even though I have this craving for chocolate, I love and accept myself completely. And then we're just tapping through the points. So this craving for chocolate, it always takes me back. What a great time. What a great memory. So many good feelings. Oh, I just love this chocolate. That taste, that smell. It's just, so good. It reminds me of then. What if I could keep this amazing memory and feel calm and relaxed around chocolate? What I'm really craving is this memory and all the good feelings. I can feel good whenever I want. All I have to do is remember this time. Good, so take a nice deep breath. And so let's go back to the food that you are craving, and we're going to check your desire for it again. So have another little taste or smell the chocolate or the food that's in front of you, and notice what your desire for it is again. Give it a number. So at this point, most people's desire starts to go down a little bit. We're going to do another round of tapping. And now I want to point out that with each round of tapping, your perception will shift a little bit. So at first, what you may notice is the way the chocolate feels the way the chocolate makes your body feel, like that feels really good. But then each time we do a round of tapping, you might notice that the next time we do it, it'll be the smoothness of the chocolate or the texture of the chocolate. So I'm going to ask you with each round what it is specifically about this food that you're craving. So do that right now. So notice what it is. Smell the food or have a little nibble and just notice what it is about this food that you love. Sometimes if there's a blend of two flavors, people really like that. So just notice what it is for you and focus on that during this next round of tapping, okay? So starting with the karate chop point. Even though I still have a craving for chocolate, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I still have a craving for chocolate, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I still have this craving for chocolate, I accept myself and all my imperfections. Tapping through the points. This craving for chocolate. It's so exciting just thinking about it. I want it right now. This craving. I just love the way I feel when I eat it. This craving for chocolate. I just love that creaminess. I can't get enough of that creaminess. I love that creamy feeling. But I choose to feel calm and relaxed. I choose to feel in control. I can have chocolate whenever I want. All right, take another nice deep breath. Good. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to have you go back and check your desire for your craving food now. Give it another number. Now, at this point, some people start to get nervous about giving up their favorite treat. So we're going to do one more round of tapping on that. And I just want to say here that this technique isn't going to make you never want to have that food again. What it will do is it will help you feel in control around it. So you won't have that, oh my gosh, I have to have chocolate right now, otherwise I'm going to kill someone feeling. Okay, so one more round of tapping. I don't want to give this up. I refuse to give up my chocolate. I am not going to give up my chocolate. I don't want to give up this happiness. What if I never find it again? But I choose to find new ways to make myself happy. Even though I just don't trust it. I do not want to give up my craving. I do not want to give up my chocolate. It's the only way I know how to feel happy. And I am not giving up my happiness. I don't want to give up this reward. It's scary to let go of this craving. But maybe it can be different. Chocolate can't really make me happy. It never knew how. It's just chocolate. It has no emotions. It has no feelings. And it certainly can't make me happy. So I choose to feel in control. I can have chocolate whenever I want. I just might not feel so compulsive about it. I choose to feel in control around chocolate. I choose to feel calm and relaxed. It's easy to find other ways to make myself happy. All right, take a nice deep breath. So let's check your desire for it again. So now at this point, if you are at a 3 still or higher, I want to encourage you to go back and start the video from the beginning. I highly doubt that though. Most people will be at either a 1 or a 0 at this point. And a lot of times what will happen with people who've just done this for the first time is they'll kind of think this is too good to be true. So we're going to do one final round of tapping on that. So tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I'm afraid this is too good to be true, I know my craving's just going to come back, but I love and I accept myself. Even though I'm afraid this is too good to be true, I accept myself completely. Even though I'm afraid this didn't work, I love and accept myself completely. There's no way this is going to stick. I just know my cravings will come back. But I choose to love and accept myself, and I choose to find new ways to make myself happy. There's no way this worked for all my cravings. I'm going to have to keep doing this over and over again. I just know my cravings will come back. There's no way it can be this simple. There's no way this took away my craving. Why haven't I found out about this before? If it's so simple, why don't more people know about it? I'm just worried my craving is going to come back. But I'm open to new possibilities, and I'm willing to let things be easy. I'm allowing myself to be free from this compulsive craving. Good, so take another nice deep breath. And hopefully your craving is at a 0. Thank you so much for spending the time to be with me today. If this exercise worked for you, I want to encourage you to leave me a comment in the box below. I absolutely love hearing about all the breakthroughs people are having, and I'm going to be reading every single last comment. So please leave me a comment in the box below. Until then, lots of love and happiness. Bye.